Before we solve problems involving complementary and supplementary angles, let's define complementary angles. It's defined here as angles whose sum is 90 degrees, right? That's complementary angles. And supplementary angles are those angles whose sum is 180 degrees. Complementary angles can be shown in a figure just like this. We have two angles here forming a right angle, and we know that a right angle measures 90 degrees, right? A right angle here measures 90 degrees, and it's divided into two using this ray here in the middle, and we have 55 degrees here, and we have x. Let's find x. In order to find x, we can use our formula, right, for complementary angles. Complementary angles are those angles whose measure or whose sum is 90 degrees, okay? And we can put that as measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. All right, so that's your complementary angles. Since these two angles here, x and the angle that measures 55 degrees are formed, and it's formed by these two rays here, which is a right angle there. So that's 90 degrees. And we know that they are complementary by definition. So to find x, we have to create an equation. We have to create an equation based on this. Measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees. So what's our angle 1? Angle 1 is x, right? So we can find an equation there, x plus 55 degrees, right? 55 degrees equals 90 degrees. All right. So what's our x? We're looking for x. In order to find x, we have to solve this equation. X plus 55 equals 90 degrees. Okay. So solving for x, we have to subtract both sides by 55. Okay. 55. Let's have all right, so we subtract both sides by 55 degrees in order to find our x. So we have x here, bring down x. This one is 0. 55 minus 55 is 0. And what's 90 minus 55? What is it? So let's subtract. What's 90 minus 55? You'll have 0 minus 5 cannot be, so you bar from 9. By regrouping, we have 0, now 10, 9 is now 8. 10 minus 5 is, of course, 5. And 8 minus 5 is 3. So that would be 35. So x is equal to 35 degrees. Letter B is another complementary angles. We see 3 angles here, right? We have one angle that is 90 degrees, but with this ray here, you have two angles, two other angles, the x angle, the angle that's labeled x, and the angle that is measuring 25 degrees. All right, so that's 25 degrees. That's very small, so that's 25 degrees. Using this equation, measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals 90 degrees, then our equation here will simply be 25 degrees plus your little x there. Let me make that bigger now. 25 degrees plus x equals 90 degrees. Okay. And now we have x. Let's solve for x. Minus 25 both sides. Okay, minus 25 degrees. So I forgot the degrees there. And so we have x equals 90 minus 25. You'll get to cancel 25 minus 25, 0. 90 minus 25. We cannot subtract 90 by 25 yet. So we have to do grouping. By regrouping, okay, 0 is now 10, 9 is now 8, 10 minus 5, 5 minus 2, 6. So you have 60. When two angles form a linear pair, right? So here we form a linear pair. When two angles form a linear pair, we call them supplementary angles. And supplementary angles are those angles whose sum is 180 degrees. So let's find x here using letter C figure. What is x when the other angle measures 43 degrees? Well, before we solve that, we can use this formula in terms of I'm using the relationship between supplementary angles, which is measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. So which appears to be our angle 1 here? Angle 1 is x, and angle 2 measures 43 degrees. All right, so that's a 43 degrees. So we can form an equation which is x plus 43 degrees equals 180 degrees. It's not 90 anymore because these are angles that form linear pair. And whenever they form a linear pair, they are considered to be supplementary angles. Right, all eyes here, please. Focus. Okay, let's have x plus 43 equals 180 degrees. Solve for x, we subtract both sides by 43 minus 43. So what's our x? By regrouping, we can subtract, right? 0 here becomes 10, and 8 becomes 7. 10 minus 3, 7. 7 minus 4, 3, bring down 1, so we have 137 degrees, the measure of the angle x. Okay. How about letter D? All right, letter D, you have 94. This angle here measures 94 degrees. How about this? It measures, oh, that's labeled as x, angle BAC. You see that angle BAC? Why BAC? We have 2 points here forming the angle, right? BAC with A as your vertex. Yeah, but let's make it simple. We can write the equation using dx, not the angle DAC. So we form here an equation which is 94 degrees plus x equals 180 degrees. Find x again, subtract both sides by 94 degrees. 94 degrees is 0. We have x, and then 180 minus 94. By regrouping, 0 becomes 10, 8 becomes 7, or 10 minus 4, 6. But now, 7 minus 9 is not possible, so by regrouping again, 7 becomes 17, and 1 is now 0. 17 minus 9, you have 8. Okay. And that would be 86 degrees.